To be writing equations of parallel lines.
I don't like this.
What do you know about parallel lines?
They're parallel. They're parallel.
So they never intersect. So two lines that never intersect are parallel. Somebody else said something else, but I'm assuming it's because you were in math lab, so just 1 second. Hold off on that second thing. Just one. I know you guys probably do. Don't do it just because Mike told you. All right. All right. 1 second. Let's go through this first. All right. So what do you notice about these two lines? Yeah. What he said. Parallel. So they are parallel. So let's find the slope of f of x and of h of x. So if you find the slope here, you notice that it's counting by halves here, right? Because this is half, 1, 1.5, 2. Do you guys see that? Mm-hmm. So this is going to, I'm going to choose 2 points. So this is at 0, 1. And I have another point here. Guys. So we have 0, 1 and 1, 3. So that goes up 1. Is that 2, 3? That's not 2. 1 minute. I wrote that. Where?
2.5. No, 3. No.
That is 3, right? Yeah. So it goes up 1, 2 over 1. So it goes up 1, 2 over 1. So it has a slope of 2 over 1. Very good. So the next one has a point here at 2, 0. And another point here at 3, 2.
Yeah.
So this goes up 1, 2 over 1.
2.
So, Mike, what did you say you noticed about what you know about the slopes of parallel lines?
Same slope.
They have the same slope. Do these two lines have the same slope?
Yes.
So we know that two parallel, just any set of parallel lines, but parallel lines have the same slope. Have the same slope, different y-intercept. Good job. Was that you that said that, Jordan? Who said different y-intercept? It was you, Jordan. Stop smirking on me there. Do you need help?
It doesn't work. Should I put empty up?
Do not write on my iPad, Mike. Come on, Mike. What? All right. So let's look at these. Parallel lines are two lines when graphed do not intersect. They have the same slope. So are the lines parallel? Explain your answer. To do this, you first need to have both equations in slope-intercept form. Both equations need to be in slope-intercept form because you need to be able to know the slope. Point-slope form and slope-intercept form both have the word slope in their name, and they both let you see the slope. But standard form does not let you see the slope. Do you understand that? So that's why I say get them into slope-intercept form. If it's in point-slope form and you recognize the slope, you don't need to change it. If you understand it, it's your notes.
Thanks to you, Riley. I know right rock instead of constant.
Then you look at the m value and see if they are the same. Don't start yourself. Let me do it in a second. So look at the slope M and see if they are the same.
Let's just snap right. Yeah, I think we should use a mechanical.
That'd be nice if I had one.
All right, guys. I know it's not very sharp, but I'm afraid it's going to break if I go anymore. So please focus here. We're going to determine if these lines are parallel. So is the first one in slope-intercept form?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. The second one is not, Jana. How can I get that into slope-intercept form? Be careful. Slope-intercept form gets y alone. We don't want to subtract y. Yes, we want to get y alone to get them into slope-intercept form. So we subtract 2x. So we have an m of 2 and an m of...
-2.
Are those parallel?
No.
Are those the same slope? No. One is positive and one is negative. So it is not parallel. Parallel can be abbreviated with two lines that look parallel because slopes are not the same. Don't forget you guys can still come in and do retakes from the last test. Sorry, somebody put them in the hood. Don't forget you can still come in and do retakes. And if you want to retake the quiz, I'm here before school every single day. So come see me or you can stay after school Thursday. Okay, that second one there, RC, is that in slope-intercept form?
No.
What would you do to get it into slope-intercept form?
Subtract 4.
Very good. Don't make yourself do too much work. Some of you guys probably would have moved X and then Y around because it wasn't on the same side. It's okay. Okay, Grace, is 3x plus 3y equals 6 in slope-intercept form? What would you do first? Don't forget about your next clever assignment as well. Grace, from there. Divide every piece by 3. So we have y equals negative x plus 2. So I have a slope of negative 1 and a slope of... So that is the y-intercept. Negative 4 is... I was trying to figure out where you got negative 4 from. So thank God it was even on the board. So negative 4 is the y-intercept. The slope is what's in front of x, which is a negative 1, right? Is that parallel then?
Yeah.
Do they have the same slope, different y-intercept?
Yes.
Sure.
So they are parallel. They have the same slope, different y-intercept. I just spelled slope wrong. Yes, Emma?
So this is a stupid question, but I
No, it is not.
I understand. Like, I know I would do this way, but I just don't understand. So if you're subtracting 3x, wouldn't you do like 6 and then 3x?
It doesn't matter which way you do it. You could do 6 minus 3x, but in slope-intercept form, it's y equals mx plus b, so that's why I always put it in front.
Okay.
Yeah, just whatever the sign is in front of the 6 needs to stay with it. So, like, there's no sign here, so it's technically like an addition sign. If it was negative, it would be like a subtraction sign.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, guys. Just because someone has a question doesn't mean you should have side conversations going, because you too might have that question, and I would prefer for that same question not to be asked again later. Does that make sense? But if you were paying attention, it wouldn't be asked again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they are good questions that get asked, and then you guys just decide to start talking. So let's listen to this now. So it says, example 2, write the equation of a line that contains 1, 5, and is parallel to f of x equals 3x minus 4. So the first thing we have to decide is the given equation in slope-intercept form? Is f of x equals 3x minus 4 in
Yes.
slope-intercept form? Yes, it is. That is y equals mx plus b. So we don't have to put it into slope-intercept form. What is the slope of the line given to you?
3. Just 3.
If you were to write an equation of a line that is parallel to that, what would the slope of that new line be?
3.
3, because it should be the same.
I'm sorry.
So, listen to me. You are now done with that line. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
That y-intercept of -4 means nothing to you on this problem. The only thing that matters to you in that equation is its slope. So we are now done with the line. So it tells you to use the point given. What's the point given? And the parallel slope, what did we decide the parallel slope was?
3.
And write an equation of a line that is parallel. Which form are you going to have to start in to get your answer?
Point slope.
Why can't we start in slope-intercept?
Because you don't have your y-intercept.
You do not have your y-intercept, so that's when we start in point-slope form. You will probably never start in standard form unless it's from a word problem. Does that make sense? Okay, so if we put it into point-slope form, Connor?
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay.
What is it in point-slope form?
Y minus 5 equals 3x minus 1.
Okay, so then how do I get that into slope-intercept form from here? How can I get that into slope-intercept form? Riley?
You do the distributive property of 3 and x minus 1.
Okay. 3x minus what?
1.
What?
Negative 3.
There you go. 3x minus 3. Josh, what would you do after that?
Then you would add the 5.
Perfect.
Good job, Josh. Thank you.
So you will notice, they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So when you're doing these problems, I kind of scaffolded the first examples for you. That's what this is called when there's like multiple steps here. These steps won't always be there for you. Does that make sense? The first thing you're going to do is make sure your equation is in slope-intercept form. If it is not in slope-intercept form, you put it into slope-intercept form. Does that make sense? From there, you just look at the slope of the line, and that's the only thing you care about. You think about what is the parallel slope. Well, it's the same thing. It'll be different tomorrow when we talk about perpendicular, but for now it's the same. Okay? And then you use the point and your parallel slope to write your equation. So let's look at another example. So writing an equation for the line that passes through -3, 3 and is parallel to 2x plus y equals 1. Is the given equation 2x plus y equals 1 in slope-intercept form?
No.
So it is not in slope-intercept form. So we do not know the slope, so we have to get it into slope-intercept form. This is in standard form. In standard form, you cannot see the slope, so we need to see the slope. So Brian, how would you get that into slope-intercept form?
Subtract 2x.
So we get y equals -2x plus 1. Brian, is that in slope-intercept form now?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So do not tell me that the slope of this is 2. You are not correct. It is not in slope-intercept form yet. So Tanari, what is the slope of that line then? -2. If you were to write an equation, Miguel, that is parallel to that one, what would its slope be? Still be the same. So it would be?
-2.
Your name is not Miguel. It would be what? Thank you. Okay, so we are done with this equation here. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That equation is only used for its slope, and then you are done with it. So now we can write an equation given using the point they gave us. What's the point they gave us?
-3.
And our parallel slope, which is?
-2.
And what form, Justin Crater, are we going to have to start in? Point slope. Why can't you start in slope-intercept, Justin? There's a point, but what specific point do you need in slope-intercept form? Do we have the y-intercept?
Nope.
No, x must be 0 if you have the y-intercept. So we're going to put it into point slope form. Jordan Coward. Put that into point slope form.
Okay, so it's y minus 3 equals, 2, negative 2, parentheses, x plus 3.
Perfect.
Man, look at this class. We're on a roll today.
We're doing fantastic. Blaine, how would you put that into slope-intercept form?
Go, Blaine!
You would times 2, negative 2 by 2x and 3.
Good, so we have y minus 3 equals?
That'd be
Negative 2x plus negative 6.
So it would be minus 6 plus negative 6 is the same thing. Okay, Lamar, you need to get y alone. How can you move the negative 3 over? But, guys, what is the inverse of subtraction, Lamar? Adding. So we're going to add what to both sides?
3.
There you go. So you'll notice we have the same slope but different y-intercepts. And that was the same for the one back here in here. So do you notice those ones had step-by-step instructions of how to do it. So on your homework tonight, if you get lost, the first few have these instructions on and then I take them off like in your example 4. Does that make sense?
Smells like peaches.
All right. So you'll notice the next one there does not have the step-by-step instructions. What is the first thing you need to do? Put it in slope-intercept form. Is y equals negative x plus 5 in slope-intercept form?
Yes.
Okay. Then what do we do after we have it in slope-intercept form?
Put in point slope.
Wait first. What do you have to do first?
Find the slope.
We first need to know the slope, which is?
-1.
What is the parallel slope to that? Do we care about this line anymore?
No.
It's trash, yes. We can call it trash if you want to. It is dead to you as well. Good. All right. So, let's focus. Focus. Alyssa, can you start in slope-intercept form on this one? What'd you say? I can't hear you. The air's on. So, yes, we cannot start in slope-intercept form. What do we have to start in, Alyssa? Point slope. Justin Powers, put that into point slope form for me. Perfect. So to get that into slope-intercept form, Tanari, what do? Distribute what?
-1.
And what do you get on that side then?
Negative x, -2.
-2. Cassie, what do you do then? So you'll notice they have the same slope, different y-intercepts. So this is getting us, the only form we're not practicing right now is standard forms. Do you see how this is still practicing those other 2 forms that you learned? The only form we're not practicing today is standard form. So if you struggled with standard form on the quiz, you might want to come see me as well for that part, but maybe this will help you a little bit more with those first 2 forms.
Yeah, it's died.
Okay. So this says write an equation for a line that passes through the point -4, 1 and is parallel to the given line. What do we need to do in order to start this problem? What do we need to know? Josh?
The slope-intercept form of the line.
Do we need to know the whole entire slope-intercept form?
You just need to know the slope.
Yeah, so we just really need to know the slope. So this is counting by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is at 0, 2. And this is at 3, 0. So Josh, can you tell me what the slope of that is?
Negative 2.
Perfect. You're going down 2, right 3, which means the slope of this line is negative 2/3, which means the parallel slope is,
Negative.
Negative 2/3.
and the point they gave us is negative 4,1. We don't need the whole entire equation because the only thing that matters in slope-intercept or for parallel lines is that the slope is the same and they don't have the same y-intercept. So we'll make sure the y-intercept is not the same after we start writing the equation. So we start in what form, Emma?
Point slope.
Point slope. So you are going to give me that point slope form equation when you are ready, okay? If you need to look at it for a second, just go ahead and do that. But once you're ready, let me know. That is completely fine.
Wait, can't you just graph the graph?
You could do it that way too. I'll show you that too.
Okay, that's what I used to. If you get the point.
I'll show you what I
I'm
did.
just making sure that
That is completely fine. But if the point is off the graph, then you need to know how to do it algebraically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Gosh, I keep staring at you, Colin, and you have that sticker in the middle of your forehead, and I'm like, I do a double take every time. All right, go ahead.
Y minus 1 equals negative 2/3. Does x plus 4.
Okay, get your calculators out if you have not done so yet. We have got to start using our calculators because there's fractions, and guess what? Wednesday's lesson is over, starting residuals and stuff like that. And what that means is you guys are going to need to know how to use the fraction button on your calculator. So who else needs a calculator?
My pen exploded in my backpack.
Where are all? Some of you guys had calculators at the beginning of the year. Where'd they go?
My pen.
It's a long
It's like the third time this year my
My
pen
pen exploded in my
absolutely.
backpack covering
I use
my
my phone
calculator.
as a
No,
And now it's
you may not use your phone. Your phone does not count as a calculator. 1 minute.
I don't even have a
Just use
fraction
my
button.
calculator third hour.
All right. Go ahead and try to get that into slope-intercept form using the fraction button on your calculator. Try to do that on your own, and I'll get the answer up there in a second. So go ahead and do that first by yourself. If you need my help, let me know. I'm going to write the answer up in a second. I want you guys to try to get it on your own. Okay, you still have to do what, though? Yep. So all of you guys need to be doing this on your own. I want to see that you know. Wait.
Find my calculator.
I didn't
We
put
don't-
in the negative sign.
No, you shouldn't be getting a decimal. How did you type in this?
2 divided by 3.
You should be using it as the fraction button. You know how to do the ABC button?
No, I don't know how to do that.
So that's why we're talking. Thank you. Okay. That's why I want you guys to do this. You should not be getting decimal answers. You should be getting a fractional answer. 8/3. Okay, that's the same thing. Just making sure. So that's good. 1 minute. Let me just make sure. Never mind. You should have added 1. I subtracted 1 like you did. Add 1 to both sides. What would that be? Come on. You should have at least what I have on the board.
I'm trying to find my own calculator.
I have a question.
That's say minus 5/3.
And in the front pocket where my pen is.
So. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I was thinking over it, and it was not going.
Is this right so far? Because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yep, that's good so far.
Well, like, how would you add that? Would it be 3?
So you would do negative 2,
Negative
2,
2.
ABC, 2, ABC, 3. So that's negative 2 2/3, okay? And then do +1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go, negative 1 2/3. That's not right. So this should be negative. A negative and a positive is negative.
Okay.
That wouldn't be positive 1/3.
It wouldn't be
No, because this wouldn't be 2/3 here. You need to do negative 2/3 times 4.
Miss Friday, I
You don't even have what I have on the board.
Miss Friday, I didn't have my line in the negative.
Huh?
I didn't even have my line in the negative.
Yeah, I was looking more at the y-intercept. Not right now. You need to show me you understand how to use your calculator. You can't write them as decimals. Do you understand that? I'm trying to figure out how you know how to change it back and forth. Good. Okay.
I want to see none of those earbuds in your head.
That's true.
Alright guys, most of you guys seem to be getting it pretty well. So look at this, and if you get it wrong after I'm done going over it, you need to ask me how to use your calculator. So you should have gotten y minus 8 equals negative 2/3 x minus 8 over 3. That is the same as negative 2 and 2/3. So if you wrote negative 2 and 2/3, that is the same as negative 8 over 3. Anybody not get that and have no clue how they didn't get that? Yeah. Yeah, that's just like it's just saying the big number. It means union. So it's saying the number 2 is unioned, which means put together like a marriage is a union, right? So two people come together, so it's putting those two things together. Yeah. All right. Any questions there? Shh. Besides what Colin asked, because that was a good question. From there, we add 1. So in your calculator, you do negative 8 over 3 using the ABC button plus 1. Or if you had it as negative 2 and 2/3, you do negative 2, ABC 2, ABC 3. Does that make sense? You just keep hitting the ABC button if you have like a mixed number. So you add that together and you get y equals negative 2/3 x minus 5 over 3, which is the same thing as negative 1 and 2/3. Okay? So, now, Connor earlier asked, what if I graphed it? Here's the problem. If you go to graph this at negative 4, 1, and you do your slope of down 2 over 3, is your y-intercept an exact y-intercept? Is that y-intercept an exact y-intercept?
No.
No. So you don't know that it's negative 5/3 or negative 1 and 2/3, right? That would be a guess if you did that, and you would happen to have been right. So that is why it's important to know point-slope form. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sometimes it will come out fine doing it that way, but this one it did not. All right. So let's